Okay, so there's a whole lot going on here today. I'm busy cleaning my system out. So I've drained the water down quite low. These are the Israeli koi that came in. You can see there's a lot of them, possibly about, I don't know, 140, 150 fish here. Complete mixed batch, really good quality. On the Samsung phone, the video looks quite bright, so it's maybe one shade lighter than what it looks like on the video, but nevertheless, I mean, the fish are really, really good quality. So what I'm doing here is I'm draining all the water down and then filling up with fresh borehole water. I do this occasionally. I just kind of drain everything out, pump it back to the garden, and then kind of reset the system. I mean, the filtration here is pretty hectic because I've got so many fish in this system. I mean, this system is only a 12,000 litre system with filtration, so I need to make sure it's working. I'm feeding a huge amount, obviously, to get the fish to grow as fast as possible. But yeah, so these tanks are empty. These are the Israelis. This one's empty as well. Those are some fish that people have bought and are getting sent off to Joburg. So they've all got owners. And here's actually my bigger pond. And you'll see the water's as low as it can go at the moment. I've got a really big chagoi type female in here. So if you're wanting a big fish, this one is available. She's an absolute monster. But then inside here there's some really good karashi gois. There's some kohaku, some metallics, some sanki. I mean, pretty much whatever you want is in this tank. Lots of fish that you might have seen as small fish, you've now kind of grown quite a lot. The color just isn't great. I've swapped iPhone to Samsung, so I'm sorry Samsung, but the phone is really putting a serious red tint on the red of the fish, which is not great. I'd prefer it if it wasn't coming through a filter. So you can see the red looks like extra red, but I mean, nevertheless, the fish are really intense in terms of color. There's that big female chagoi. But in here there's some really nice karashis. There's a big karashi in the corner. Believe it or not, I mean, it looks like it's smaller, but that is about 50, almost 50 centimeters. That's 45. So it just shows you the size of the fish in the pond here. More karashis, some kohaku, garomo, some nice shirotsuri still in here. So yeah, draining it down and then filling up with fresh borehole water. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment. And in here I've got a mixture of goldfish. If you're wanting goldfish, you can come and get goldfish really, really cheaply. I don't really want to keep them. I've got so many. They've bred like crazy. There's some cheapy koi in here as well. So these are bigger fish that I'll let go at a really good price. But lots of fish in here. So yeah, lots of work getting done. Fish being sorted out. Things moved around. I've also got fish that I've separated out that I've actually got in the course of the last week. So they're in here, and they're being treated at the moment. There's medication in the water. There's possibly about 200 kohaku, hiotsuri, and mukashi ogon and pin kabuto in this tank. But they need to stay in here for 2 weeks so I can just make sure that they're fine. They've had their first set of meds. There's a lot of salt in this water, and then what I'll start doing from this evening is doing the first microscope scrape, just to see if there's any parasites or anything on the fish, and I'll do that a couple of times before I actually release them. Yeah, so pretty busy day. Lots of stuff going on at the moment. But as you can see, I mean, lots of really good fish here that are growing amazingly well. Okay, and here's a look at my main pond. You'll see the water is incredibly murky and incredibly mucky. I've actually had the UV lights off and I didn't even realize it. They've been off like for the last 2 weeks. I thought the water was just mucky because of the borehole, but no, it's actually my UV lights are off. You can see a huge amount of foam on the water. That's because I'm feeding quite a lot. I've also had my protein skimmer system off for a while. There it is in the corner, so we can zoom in to see that. Pumping a bit of foam out at the moment, but nothing major. But there's huge protein in the water at this at this point in time. I'm feeding a lot of food. There's a really high stocking density in this pond, so I'm really not surprised. I also tend to let this jet run quite a bit here. So when this is running, I don't have enough power with that pump that this is on to run it through the protein skimmer and the jet here. This is great for good flow of water. When I switch that water over there back to this jet, it's huge. Really circulates the pond, but unfortunately the protein skimmer then stays off. So I need to make a plan and actually put them on 2 separate pumps. I've got a plan to buy a much stronger low wattage pump, which I will do in due course. But yeah, you can see the big guys are looking really, really good. An indication of size, that big kohaku that you can see, that now is over 90 centimeters. So that'll give you an indication of the size of the rest of the fish in the pond. So the top ones are kind of I would say close to 80 centimeters. That big white one maybe about 84, but growing really nicely. Lots of little tossi in here as well. Experiments that I kind of want to see what I can do with them. I've obviously shown you guys some of these fish before as I've lifted them out, so you can see progress. I might pull 1 or 2 out today just to see what they've done. I've also got a bit of work to do in here in terms of some of the tossi having some serious shimmies. So I need to see if I can nick some shimmies off, or actually make a plan, because obviously some of the fish I do take to koi shows. I need to make sure they look good, and this pond is seriously overstocked, so I need to actually make a plan. I can't just keep on putting fish in here. I need to start thinning out if I want the biggest ones to grow bulkier and grow bigger. Maybe what I can do is check this new Samsung phone out underwater and see what that looks like. So let's do that quickly and just see what the fish look like. It might be very mucky in there. Obviously the water's not very clear, but let's see. Okay, so yeah, it looks like there's some visibility, but the water's quite dirty, so I apologize for that. Yeah, it'll clear up with the UV light, and also because it's borehole water, it's pretty dirty. But I've decided I'm going to get a drum filter. I'm not going to stick with the vortexes I've got, so it won't be long and I'll have a decent drum filter set up in here and see what the difference is in terms of water quality. But just from a kind of pure I don't know, efficiency in terms of the pond, you can see that the fish are really happy. It's working, they're growing, doing really well. So yeah, the water clarity will get better when I put the new drum filter on. But in the meantime, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing because the fish are clearly happy. If you're a purist, you'll more than likely say, well, the water's too dirty. How come your water's so bad? But you know what, it works. I mean, and a lot of the time wild carp live in pretty grim conditions. This is just a combination of the borehole water, the UV light being off, me messing with the filters and cleaning the pond,